there is a fresh face-off between the BJP and the TMC after the announcement of the Panchayat polls in West Bengal, which will take place on July 8th. The BJP has slammed the move, claiming the polls were announced in a hasty manner. Leader of opposition, Shubhendu Adhikari, called it a murder of democracy. He further added that the polls were announced without holding a single all-party meeting. BJP also says there hasn't been any discussion on the security arrangements for the single-phase election. TMC leader Abhishek Banerjee hit back at the BJP over the demand for central forces, accusing the Saffron Party of spreading unrest in the state ahead of the elections. The state still bears the scars of the election violence from 2021. The big question remains, has that spectre of violence returned to the state?
पंचायत के मेंबर्स का इलेक्शन होगा, तो इसके लिए उनके पुलिस के पास इतना पुलिस बल ही नहीं है कि वो सारे बूथों को सुरक्षा दे पाए। इसीलिए सेंट्रल फोर्सेस लाना चाहिए।
State Election Commissioner has been newly appointed. He has taken a decision on the Panchayat polls. He has decided that it will be held in one phase with state police. We have to abide by this.
Priyanka Tibrewal, spokesperson of the BJP. We have Meeta Chakravarti representing the Congress, Biswajit Deb, spokesperson of the TMC, and Vivek Srivastava is CPI leader. Priyanka, if you claim that you have the support of the people of Bengal, then why are you worried about the dates? You should be confidently entering into the elections.
No one is worried about the elections coming over, you see. It is only that we are seeing that in Bengal, TMC is responsible and they should be slammed for trying to curb democracy. See, in democracy, when there are so many other national parties who will be participating in this election, in the election procedure of members who will be elected in more than 63,000 seats. Over here, they have not called a single meeting where all parties can come and speak whether we are ready at the moment. All of a sudden, they just announced yesterday that, there will be elections. Now, we have always seen that if there is any kind of unrest in our state, it is only and only TMC who is behind the unrest, whether it is during the Ram Navami or whether it is during elections. The brilliant example of this and the most visible example of this was in the year 2021 when the elections got over, during the elections as well and after the elections as well. We have all seen, and nobody can deny that, because Mamata government was held responsible by the High Court, by the Supreme Court for any violence which took place in West Bengal. Okay. So now also they are moving and looking forward to another chapter of violence in West Bengal.
Okay. So, Biswajit Deb, what is this rush to have these elections? And why have these dates been announced in a hasty manner?
Well, the elections were due. And obviously, in a democracy, the election has to be held. And the opposition, including the BJP, was always demanding that the Panchayat election should be held in time. And that is what we have done. The problem is with BJP, they don't have the organization to contest the election. They don't have the capacity to even contest 40% of the total Panchayat seats. And that is why they are raising one after another flimsy grounds. Once they are saying that we want central force, then they are saying that we want online nomination. Next day they will come and say that we will want online voting. Because the problem is they don't have the people's support and neither they have the organization. You see, in 2021 also, you see, they demanded the central force. And the central forces were there. And the elections were held on 8 phases. In spite of our protest that the COVID will spread, they did not hear. And election was held in 8 phases, along with central force.
Okay, let me ask Vivek Srivastava, which side of the debate are you on? Are you of the opinion that the elections... I'll come to you,
BJP was thrown away from Bengal.
There has to be...
Should the elections be held?
Yeah. See, there has to be a middle path, okay? No, first of all, I would like to tell this TMC spokesperson that elections are done as per the constitution of the country, the Election Commission and the democratic ethos of this nation. कौन जीतेगा कौन हारेगा, who's going to go to get how many seats, I mean who's prepared, who's not prepared, that is not supposed to be the criteria for deciding the dates. Unfortunately, in our country previously also many governments, as per their convenience, many parties influence their governments which are in power and try to shuffle up the dates to suit their convenience, which is what has been done here. Our concern is twofold. Number one, in the last Panchayati Raj elections, if you see the amount of FIRs registered, the way the Communist Party officers were attacked, people were murdered, our candidates were not allowed to fill in the papers, and there are so many cases of the same type at that time. That is a concern for us, and that is why if the ruling party is not going to take the opposition parties into confidence on issues, it is not good for our democratic process. Now the BJP is also not a doodh ka dhula. They want time so that some communal frenzy can be created, some Hindu-Muslim Vaad can be created, some issues can be raised.
Before I bring in Priyanka, what about the Congress party? Will we be seeing some kind of alliance, at least at the Panchayat level, between the Congress and the TMC?
Okay, good evening to all your viewers. And before I answer that,
told to the press as and when.
Yeah, okay.
I think that was that for me?
Yes, Meeta, that's a question for you. Congress and the TMC.
Yes. So good evening to all your viewers. I think we still have very raw memories of the violence that happened during 2018 Panchayat election. And we definitely do not want to see a rerun of that violence. Hence, we have asked for deployment of central forces. Our demands are very simple. We have been given for around 70,000 seats. We have been given only 24 hours to file nomination. 6 days, 4 hours each day. That is definitely not sufficient time. So we have gone to the High Court, and even the High Court has observed today that the time given is not sufficient. And there is a hearing that's going to happen on Monday regarding the same. We would want enough sufficient time to be given to all candidates to file nomination. We would like to ask for deployment of central forces. We would like an assurance that no civic volunteers will be used. We would like an assurance of zero violence during Panchayat election. We would want videography to be done of all phases during the polling, during the vote counting day, so that we can ensure a free and fair.
So you are not demanding that Mamata Banerjee should have called an all-party meeting?
Absolutely. She should have called an all-party meeting. And the idea is that this should be a celebration of democracy.
Be it Congress, be it the CPI or the BJP, all of them are of the opinion that why is this entire process being hurried?
I am again repeating. Well, we are not in a hurry. Elections are held in due time.
But why no all-party meeting?
And that is what exactly the State Election Commission has done. No.
Really?
Why all-party meeting? During the time when the parliament elections are announced. When the parliament elections are announced. Ever have you seen that an all-party meeting is called by the All India Election Commission?
Maria, allow me.
You see, elections will be held in due time. In due time, and that is what is being done. But ultimately, you see, they are unable to. Yes, because you are unable to. You are unable to contest the elections. You don't have anything.
No, so you are saying the same to the Congress and the CPI.
You don't have.
Are you saying the same to the BJP, the Congress and the CPI, that none of them have any kind of people support, only TMC has, right?
Only
none of them. Okay, fine. Priyanka.
That is why they rely on court.
That is what I'm trying to say. That see, he feels that it is only the TMC who has all the support. Actually, it is not the support. It is the support of violence which they utilize and which they use. It is only the violence which they use to come to the chair and power. See, now my friend, he is saying that it is time for the elections. Now let me remind him that there are more than 10 municipalities where election is due, and more than 10 years have passed, but no election in those municipalities. They are also in West Bengal, be it Havda, be it other such municipalities. So it is not required there. But it is very much required that Panchayat elections.
Why are you so afraid?
Mr. De, please keep quiet.
To face the election.
Who is afraid of you? Who is afraid of people who are every day called by the ED and the CBI on charges of corruption? Your ministers are in jail.
You accept that. That is the
Your
That is the
Bhaiko,
ground reality.
your
That
leader,
is the
your
ground
youth leader,
reality.
his wife
You
is
face
every
that.
day called
You
by the
accept
CBI.
that.
Now you
That
see,
you don't
I'm
have
telling you, Maria,
the people's
it is
support.
because Abhishek
And that is
Banerjee's
why
wife
you
is
rely
every day
on
being
central
called by
force.
the CBI
You bring
in
in,
order.
you bring in the
In
army.
order to crush
You
that
bring in
news,
the
it is
army.
that they have
But
announced the
ultimately,
Panchayat
it will be the
elections. Now you
people
see, it is not
of
just that.
Bengal
BJP
who
has
will
went
vote
to
for
the
Mamata
High Court
Banerjee.
asking
Who
for
will vote
central
for
force
Mamata
deployment.
Banerjee and not for
BJP is
BJP.
asking
Because
for,
you
you know,
don't have even
what is this man doing? Please ask him to keep
20%
quiet.
of
He
the
doesn't have.
seats.
Sir, Mr. Biswajit Dev, I thought you were at
20%.
least out of the
You
educated
won't
zone.
be
I
able
didn't
to
know
contest
that your qualification has also
only
gone in vain.
20% of the seats also.
I pity you. Mr. Dev, I really pity you. I thought you were an educated person. Anyways, so we have gone to the High Court
I am
asking for
again
deployment
repeating.
of central
Accept the
forces.
reality.
We have
Accept the
asked
truth.
for, you know, the nomination dates to be extended. Not just that, we've also asked for the online nominations. Because you see, TMC, only now, it is the constituency of Abhishek Banerjee called Diamond Harbour. And in Diamond Harbour, what has he done? There's a place called Falta. All the candidates, their houses have been surrounded by minorities. They are not being allowed to move out of their houses now. What will they file nomination? And here,
You
Mr.
see,
Dev,
your
Mr.
politics
Biswajit
is a
Dev
politics
is talking
of
with a
division
big mouth.
on the basis
He's
of
talking with a
religion.
big mouth.
That is what you have done
I
earlier.
pity you.
And that is what
I pity
you are trying to
Mr.
do
Dev.
now.
I really
But
pity
I am
you
again
that you are
saying, I
trying
am
to
again
defend
telling you,
something which is
you
indefensible.
don't have
And you
any
are trying
base.
here to speak
You
your
have
lungs
no
out
acceptance.
against what? Against those who are having charges of corruption. And just to cover up the story, they are wanting that the Panchayat election should be held now. No, sir. If Abhishek Banerjee has done a scam, he will have to go to the ED and the CBI. If his wife has done any scam, she will have to be held responsible. Nobody is out of law. Nobody is.
Abhishek Banerjee.
See, look at his desperation. Oh my God.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay, we
please
have
don't
two
be
other
desperate.
panelists as well.
Please
Vivek
don't be
Srivastava.
desperate.
Let me bring in
That
Vivek
is
Srivastava.
Look at
Vivek
this.
Srivastava.
Yeah.
Okay, one moment. Vivek Srivastava, yes.
Afraid of Abhishek Banerjee. Your party is afraid of Abhishek Banerjee.
He will be in Tihar soon, like your other
Now-
netas. And then where will you be decide that?
No, I mean, let's talk sensibly. Let's talk sensibly. First of all,
That I
if
will
the
talk
TMC
with
is
you.
so confident of its victory, it should be more gracious. No, then it should be more gracious.
You're talking about
आप
BJP
इतने
or
confident हैं,
TMC?
तो आप ज़्यादा gracious बनिए. I'm talking about the TMC. If the TMC
Let's
says
have the
I'm very
TMC in
confident
this
of a
window now.
victory,
Yes.
and you guys are complaining because you are the opposition and you're not going to get a seat. First of all, again I'm telling you, Vishwajit ji, winning a seat, getting even a single vote is not the criteria of deciding the dates of election. That has to be free and fair for all incumbents who are going to fight it, number one. Number two, if you are so confident, if you think you are very popular, you need to be more gracious. You need to call the all-party meeting if you're so great, and you should listen to us, and you should be more flexible. However, the problem is there was a very bad taste in our mouth in the last elections. Our candidates were not even allowed to go. Many were murdered on the way to file in the nomination. Our party offices were attacked. Youth Federation leaders were beaten up, backbones. I mean, it was so violent last time in 2018. We also urge that there should be an online process somehow of nomination. That will be better, so that something that happened in the past should not be repeated. Again, however, I also do not agree with this narrative of minority versus majority. Abhishek ji ne minority laga diya and everybody's house was surrounded. That is not the right way to deal with things. I mean, spreading communal frenzy, spreading this Hindu versus Muslim in any state across the nation is not right, and it is not the narrative with any national spokesperson of any national party should do. Let us talk about it from a neutral perspective.
Okay.
So my only appeal is what you have done
but
is
left
wrong.
is hardly neutral.
Yeah.
You have clear ideological division, so let's not say that you have a centrist
I can
line to
assure
have.
you.
Yes.
I
Can
can
I
assure
come
you
in? Can I
that
come
it
in,
will be a
please?
peaceful election.
I haven't waited
It
for
will
No,
be
but
a
how can you
peaceful
assure?
election.
If it is about the election commission, then how can you give that assurance?
People will be able to give the mandate.
No, but how can you give that
Not-
assurance when it is being done by the election commission? By the state election commission?
I am again saying that election commission and the administration will take all steps to ensure
You
that
run
it is
the
a free and fair
administration,
election.
you run the
What
election
did your
commission, you
leader,
run
But
the
the
Mother
police.
opposition,
say today?
but the
You
opposition,
run the police.
unfortunately,
Police
the
and
opposition
outside
does
your
not have the
house.
support.
Even in this
Giving security to
election.
Abhishek Banerjee.
Are we
What did
What
Mother
are
police
we
do
say today?
responsible? Are we
The police is only
responsible
running in
to
the
find out
rallies
candidates
after
from the
and before
BJP,
Abhishek
Congress,
Banerjee, giving
and
him
the left?
security. This is what the administration is doing. Mamata Banerjee's family is personally utilizing all the police personnel in West Bengal to provide protection to the Bhaipo and his family. Because each day the Bhaipo and his wife have been called by the ED and CBI. We are seeing your police officers are running on streets. Oh, Mr. Bittuji, we also know. Maybe you will also have some police. Your police behaves like Havaldars. This is how you treat them. Police officers each and every day, they just run behind Abhishek Banerjee. That is the duty. They are not meant for public protection.
Okay.
63,000 seats. You don't have enough police to give protection.
We have really come to the end of this discussion. Meeta Chakrabarti, quickly, 30 seconds to you, Meeta. Yes, go ahead.
Any election without central
Yeah,
forces.
so what did the TMC leader Madan Mitra say today? He went on record and he said that there had been violence in Panchayat elections earlier and there will be violence even in this Panchayat election. You have a senior leader going on record, addressing the press, talking about violence, talking about an opposition.
We certainly hope that
democracy.
the elections are peaceful. Thank you so much for your time, Priyanka Tibrewal, Meeta Chakrabarti, Biswajit Deb and Vivek.